What is determinism? Broadly construed, determinism is a theory or doctrine which holds the belief that occurrences of nature, social or psychological phenomena, and acts of the will, are causally determined by preceding events or natural laws. In other words, determinism believes that all events, whether involving inanimate matter or conscious beings like humans, are completely determined by previous events. Hence, if one knows the physical state of the universe completely at any given moment, and all physical laws, one could, in principle, predict the future perfectly, including the so-called free actions of human beings. In psychology in particular, determinism believes that all human behaviors flow from genetic or environmental factors that, once they have occurred, are very difficult or impossible to change. For example, a determinist might argue that a person's genes make him or her anxious. An extreme determinist would argue that gene-based anxiety cannot be altered, while a moderate determinist would argue that anxiety's genetic basis makes it more difficult to change. In the natural sciences, particularly in physics, determinism believes that the laws of nature, such as Isaac Newton's laws of motion, are causal laws. As is well known, Newton's laws are mathematical equations, that is, functions of time. Hence, once you know the positions and velocities of all the particles in the universe, we can put in any time in the past or future, and these differential equations tell us everything that has happened and ever can happen. And so, in this idea of classical mechanics, the universe has but one past, that is, the actual past, but it also has only one future, the only possible future. Indeed, it is completely determined by those mathematical equations. In philosophical terms, determinism is the belief that all events, including moral choices, are completely determined by previously existing causes. Determinism is usually understood to preclude free will because it entails that humans cannot act otherwise than they do. The theory holds that the universe is utterly rational because complete knowledge of any given situation assures that unerring knowledge of its future is also possible. Pierre Simon, Marquis de Laplace framed the classical formulation of this thesis in the 18th century. For him, the present state of the universe is the effect of its previous state and the cause of the state that follows it. And for Marquis de Laplace, if a mind, at any given moment, could know all of the forces operating in nature and the respective positions of all its components, it would thereby know with certainty the future and the past of every entity, large or small. The Persian poet, Omar Khayyam, expressed a similar deterministic view of the world in the concluding half of one of his quatrains. And the first morning of creation wrote, what the last dawn of reckoning shall read,